Hello guys, welcome back to Empower Tutorials. This is your master teacher, Dr. Sona. Yes guys, how's everyone doing? So yes, I know it's been a long time and we have to really continue and go on with the sessions. But then I'm sure you all must have gone through all my mid sessions that I have come up with, that is the MCQ sessions, because of which probably I have not been coming up with the regular sessions very frequently. But yes, here I am, and let's continue with our biology lectures. So we have finished with the plant physiology part of our biology thing. Then we've also started with the human physiology, in which we have completed about the circulation and everything about the blood, the cells, what is hemoglobin, how is blood formed, how is blood circulated, how does heart pump blood, how does heart work, what is blood pressure, what is pulse. So we've seen all these things in human physiology chapter 1, that is about circulation. So now guys, as we know that our body consists of many different functions that take place, right, in our day-to-day activities, one of which is circulation that we have gone through, right? So now we are going to see the different system. Okay, we have seen the circulatory system for now, right? So now we are further going to go ahead to another very important system of the body, that is the excretory system, right? So yes, the name, as the name suggests, excretory system, we know that everything that we are eating, circulation may everything is getting circulated. Then we have studied in our earlier classes about the digestive system, where all the food gets churned and all the digestion part takes place. What after that? Okay, so there is going to be this process of excretion, where all the wastes of the body, or say the products or the materials that our body doesn't really need, will get excreted from the body. That is, the body will let out all those materials which are not needed for the body. All right, so yes, we will be beginning with the excretory system. And guys, for all those who have not yet tuned into our channel Empower Tutorials on YouTube, please go like, share and subscribe the channel to have access to all the kind of videos for your syllabus. Chalo guys, let's go ahead. Okay, so the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. So I mean, how beautiful it is that dictionary, we definitely have words which are going to be alphabetically. So it's only the dictionary where the word success, because of starting with S, is going to come somewhere before work, which is starting with W, right? But whereas in our daily regular day-to-day life, if you see, unless you really work, you won't be achieving success, right? So in our day-to-day life, success is definitely not coming anywhere before work. You really have to work hard, strive hard, and only then you are going to achieve success. So do not take shortcuts, because success does not come first. Only in the dictionary it does, whereas you have to really work hard to achieve that. All right, chalo guys, let's go ahead. Okay, now very basics of what is excretion we have just discussed in a very general term, which we just discussed, that is, it is the removal of all harmful and unwanted products from the body, especially the nitrogenous wastes. All right, so like I told you all, it is basically the removal or excretion of all the products that the body does not really need, or you can say which are not very good for the body, or you can say which are harmful for the body, right? So that is about excretion. So this definition is really important. What is most important in this definition is the nitrogenous wastes. All right, okay, now excretion to ho raha hai, but what is exactly going out in excretion? Okay, so let's have a look at that. Substances that need to be excreted are, one is carbon dioxide. Our body doesn't need carbon dioxide, right? Nitrogenous metabolic waste, excess salts and vitamins, water, and bile pigments. All right, so these are the substances that really need to be excreted from the body. Now going ahead to what are the different excretory organs in the humans. Okay, so now which the all these things that we have just seen, that is the carbon dioxide, the nitrogenous waste, or the excess salt, vitamins, okay, that are actually needed to be consumed, the bile pigments, everything that needs to be excreted is going to be excreted by some or the other organ, right? So now let's see, all these wastes are excreted by which organs. Okay, so we have the carbon dioxide now, which is going to be excreted by the lungs. All right, now we know that lungs play a very important process or a very important role in respiration, right? So what happens in respiration is we are taking in oxygen and we are giving out carbon dioxide, right? So that is via that process, that is, the lungs play a major role in the excretion of carbon dioxide, because our body doesn't really need carbon dioxide. Okay, So that is about carbon dioxide. Going ahead to nitrogenous wastes. Now nitrogenous wastes are excreted in the form of, one is ammonia, urea and uric acid. Okay, so now these are three materials which are basically present in our body in some or the other form, but are not really required by the body. All right, so they need to be excreted. So then nitrogenous wastes mainly broadly are going to be excreted in the form of ammonia, urea and uric acid. All right, next thing is all the excess salts or say vitamins or say water, or you can say, all the electrolytes basically that our body doesn't really need is going to be excreted. Okay, that is also going to be excreted. Now it, how does it come inside our body? These are basic things which we intake via food, right? Salt ho gaya, vitamins ho gaya, water ho gaya, say in the form of food, beverages, drinks, anything, right? So that is our mode of consumption, and we are going to excrete it when it is going to be in plenty and when the body doesn't really need it. Okay, when the quantity of these things exceeds the requirement of the body. Okay, yes, next thing is, last thing is the bile pigments. Okay, so we know that we have the bilirubin and the biliverdin, which are the two bile pigments. So bilirubin, as we know, are bilirubin and biliverdin are these pigments which are basically formed because of the dead RBCs. So dead RBCs are when these dead RBCs are formed, so present basically you can say. So bilirubin and biliverdin is basically a product of that, the dead RBCs, right? So now even they need to be excreted. It's a useless product. Our body doesn't really need it. So bilirubin will get excreted in the urine, and what role it plays is it imparts a yellow color to the urine. Okay, and then it gets excreted via the urine. Okay, so as you can see in the picture, we have spoken about the lungs. We have spoken now skin. What do you think the skin excretes? Yes, can anyone tell me what do you think the skin excretes? Sweat. What about sweat? Sweat is again water, right, which is going out from a body via the skin, right? So even skin is playing a major role as an excretory organ. All right, and let's go ahead. Okay, this is exactly what we have just seen. We'll just have a quick go through again. So carbon dioxide is via the lung as a gas in the expired air, which we just saw because of the process of respiration it happens. Mineral salts, urea, creatinine and uric acid, we've seen all this, right? It is okay. Now creatinine and uric acid is also excreted via the skin because it is a constituent of sweat. Then we have seen kidneys, excess water goes out. Skin, say again, it goes out in the form of sweat. Lungs, we have seen, because in the form of carbon dioxide it is thrown out. And last thing is the liver. The bile pigments that we have seen are present in the liver. So again, liver plays a role of an excretory organ. All right, so that is it about the organs of excretion. Now this is again a very important part of the chapter. This would come as a basically say 2-mark answer, so you just need to brush up or say go through this. You just need to know there are like hardly like 4 to 5 organs that you need to know about. Oh, okay, what is this? Okay. Okay, now we are talking about the urinary system. The main part of today's chapter is the urinary system. Okay, now first let's see what the urinary system comprises of. The most important thing that the urinary system comprises of is the kidney. Okay, so kidney is a paired organ. There are 2 kidneys. Okay, every human has 2 kidneys. Next thing is the ureters. Okay, these are the 2 kidneys, the bean-shaped organs. Then we have 2 ureters, these tubes that you can see here, brown color tubes, which are coming out attachment from the kidneys. Then we have the urinary bladder. You can see this is a bladder. It's basically a bag which is going to store urine temporarily. And then is a urethra, which is going to be directly connected to the organs, the private organs of the male as well as the female, via which the urine is going to get excreted. All right, so here we have 2 kidneys. So each kidney is going to be made up of the outer cortex and inner medulla. We will discuss and talk about the structure of the kidney in detail further. And it is made up of million tiny filtering units called nephrons. Okay, now what you need to know is major organ of the urinary system is kidney, no doubt. Okay, but the functional unit, okay, the functional unit of kidneys of the urinary system is going to be nephron. Okay, say neurological system, when we talk about the brain, so what is the functional unit we talk about? Neuron, right? So similarly, in urinary system, we have the nephron. Okay. Now, what is the function of the kidneys? We know in layman terms, layman language, we know that kidneys help in filtering the blood, right? So yes, the blood brings the waste to the kidneys through the renal artery. Nephrons will purify the blood, and the cleaned blood flows out of the kidneys through the renal vein. So basically, purification of blood is taking place. Next is ureters. Ureters arise from both the kidneys, these brown color tubes that we just saw, and connects to the urethra. It carries the urine from the kidney. Now see, all the urine which is present here is going to be carried by these ureters, then going to be temporarily stored in this bladder, and then from there, urethra is going to carry that urine and pass it out. Okay. So urethra, okay, we have seen the urinary bladder, which is basically a bag which is storing urine, and urethra, which is a small tube that carries urine from the bladder and expels it outside. Okay, are we clear with that? So what is important here is these four organs: kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and the urethra. Okay, now we are discussing the internal structure of the kidney in detail. Okay, now this is the LS section. Now LS section, matlab, how can you say? Now suppose this is a kidney. So when I cut it like this, okay, when I'm going to cut it like this, बीच में से जब आप cut करोगे, LS is the longitudinal section. Okay, like this you're going to cut it, not like this. How we slice the apple, ऐसा वैसा LS में we are going to cut the part of the kidney and view the internal structure. Okay, what you need to know here is there is a outer cortex and an inner medulla. So now all this outer part that you see over here, ठीक है, ये अंदर triangles, can you see these pyramids, these conical pyramids, ठीक है, तो ये पूरा right from these pyramids till the पूरा inside का part is going to be the known as the medulla, ठीक है, और ये जो बाहर का जो layering है, or you can say this envelope which is there is going to be known as the cortex, ठीक है. So most important thing, kidney has outer cortex and inner medulla. This is what you need to know. Next thing, in the medulla there is presence of many conical pyramids. This you can see, small fan like structures. So they are these conical pyramids. ठीक है, ये हो गया conical pyramids. Now another important thing that you can say the most important thing what is going to be present in these pyramids is the functional unit, that is the nephron. Okay, which are going to play a major role in purification of blood. So then there is the presence of these nephrons. What is next that is going to be present is the blood vessels. Now there are going to be two blood vessels, the renal artery and the renal vein. Okay, renal is a term used in conjunction with the urinary system or kidney. So there is a renal artery that you can see here. Okay, and this is the renal vein, and then attachment to the kidneys of the ureter. We have just seen in the previous diagram. Okay, the kidney is further attached to the ureter here. So this is the ureter. All right, renal artery, renal vein, ureter. Then we have the nephrons. Then we have these conical pyramids, outer cortex, inner medulla. Okay, and this part that you can see here, where these pyramids are connected to these blood vessels, is known as the pelvis area or the renal pelvis area. All right. So this is about the structure of the kidney. A very, very, very important question from point of view of MCQs, from point of view of your written theory exams. Could be a 2-mark answer, 3-mark answer. There could be questions based on say diagrammatic questions. Diagram diya hoga, probably you might have to label, or basically diagrammatic based questions could come. But definitely there is going to be something that is going to come in the exam related to the structure of the kidney. All right. Okay. Now there is something known as a kidney tubule. Okay. Kidney is just one part, usse ureter attached hai, the bladder, the urethra and everything we have seen. That entirely is the urinary system. All right. Now, a major role, a major organ or a major part of the urinary system which really plays an important role in absorption, reabsorption, excretion, purification, all these things that happen in the kidney happens in a tubule-like structure. Okay, so now we are going to study about that tubule-like structure. Okay, now see how that appears like. First thing, what you need to remember, there is a cup-like structure. Okay, cup-like structure रहता है, which is known as the Bowman's capsule. Okay, see, you can see this yellow color structure here. ये part, cup-like structure, like I told you, it is the Bowman's capsule. Okay, now inside that Bowman's capsule, there is going to be a dense network of capillaries, a lot of capillaries. Okay, so this jumbled up network of capillaries which is present in the Bowman's capsule is known as the glomerulus. Okay, it is known as the glomerulus. This part that you can see here, this reddish jumbled like network kind of thing of capillaries is the glomerulus. Okay, now this cup-like structure and उसके अंदर ये capillaries का network which is the glomerulus. These two together are known as the Malpighian capsule. All right, we have seen three very important terms. The cup-like structure is the Bowman's capsule. उसके अंदर dense network of capillaries or blood vessels is known as the glomerulus, and these two parts together are known as the Malpighian capsule. All right, very important thing. ठीक है, now further इसके आगे what is present is a convoluted tubule. Convoluted मतलब you can say it's a curve like a crooked kind of, see बहुत सारे जिसमें twists and turns है. See, if you see here, you can see this part, you can see so many twists and turns here. So this is known as the first convoluted tubule or PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule. Now why do we call it proximal? Because proximal means what? Close. So this is a tubule which is close to the Bowman's capsule, okay, or close to the Malpighian capsule. That is why this is known as proximal convoluted tubule or first convoluted tubule. ठीक है, this is near the capsule, that is why it is proximal. अभी capsule से जो दूर रहता है, which is at the extreme end of this structure of the tubule, is known as distal convoluted tubule. Distal means दूर, okay, that is the last part which is the distal convoluted tubule. And in between this, ये हो गया proximal convoluted tubule, इधर हो गया distal, इधर capsule है, ठीक है, capsule के बाजू में proximal convoluted tubule है and इधर distal है. Now what is connecting the proximal and the distal convoluted tubule is a loop. Okay, now see, as you can see, ये proximal है और ये distal है. अभी इसको जो connect कर रहा है, this yellow part that you can see here, this U-like structure that you can see is known as the middle, the U-shaped part is known as the loop of Henle. Okay, it is known as the loop of Henle. अभी proximal tubule से जब वो loop निकलता है, that is known as the ascending limb because नीचे जा रहा है. Okay, that is, it is going down basically, sorry, so it is the descending limb, and then ये U turn लेके जब वो वापस ऊपर जाएगा, that will be the ascending limb. Okay, from the proximal convoluted tubule, when that loop of Henle goes down, it is going to be down. Remember, it's going down, it is the descending tubule or a descending limb. Then U turn लेके जब वापस ऊपर जाएगा, that will be the ascending limb. Okay, so what you need to remember is apart from this capsule that we have seen, उसके बाद आता है proximal convoluted tubule. वहां से start होता है loop of Henle, which is a U-shaped part which has two limbs, ascending and descending. From the PCT, when it goes downwards, that is the distal or say descending limb. U-turn लेके जब वापस ऊपर जाता है, that becomes the ascending limb, and then उसके बाद में end में होता है the distal convoluted tubule. ठीक है, and this distal convoluted tubule जो सबसे last part होता है, that plays a role in collecting. It is basically known as a collecting duct that will play a role in collecting the urine or everything, any process that is happening in these parts, उसका end में collection होता है distal tubule. All right, now another thing that you need to know about is the blood vessels over here. So we have the afferent blood vessels and the efferent blood vessels. Afferent means A से जो word चालू होता है. Afferent means the blood vessels which are coming towards the part, which are entering the part. ठीक है. Efferent, EFF जब हम बोलते हैं, efferent means going away from the part. So blood vessels which are leaving the part are going to be known as the efferent blood vessels. Blood vessels coming towards the part are going to be known as the afferent blood vessels. ठीक है. Are we clear with this? Okay, so that is about the structure of the kidney tubule. Okay, so I think that is it about the basic about the urinary system that we have seen. Now, what is a small activity for you all? Many people really get confused between this. Okay, so what I want you all to do is I want you all to find out the difference between excretion and defecation. Okay, I want you to find out the difference. At least a 2-point difference or at least a basic simple words में the difference between excretion and defecation. Please put down your answers in our comment sections. I will definitely go through all your answers and put up the best answers in my upcoming next session. All right, guys. So please go through this. What we have seen today is about the urinary system. We know that it comprises of the kidney, the ureter, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. Then we have seen about the structure of the kidney, all right, which consists of the outer cortex, inner medulla. Then there are pyramids, there is a renal artery, there is a renal vein, okay, there is a renal pelvis. That is about the structure of the kidney. Then what we have seen next is the structure of the renal tubule. All right, so renal tubule mein what did we see? We saw that there is a capsule like structure which is known as the Bowman's capsule. It is a cup like structure. उसके अंदर होता है dense network of capillaries. Okay, so this dense network of capillaries is going to be known as the glomerulus. All right, glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule together will be known as the Malpighian capsule. ठीक है, उसके बाद what we have seen is from there एक crooked और से twists and turns वाला एक duct present होता है which is known as the proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal इसलिए because it is in close proximity to the capsule. ठीक है, ये हो गया. वहां से नीचे की तरफ एक लूप जाता है which is firstly having the descending limb, then वो एक U-turn मार के ऊपर जाता है which is known as the ascending limb, and this U-shaped वाला loop is known as the loop of Henle. And then from that ascending limb it further gets connected or continued as the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so this entire tubule ये क्या रोल प्ले करता है, how absorption and reabsorption takes place in the kidney is what we are going to see in our upcoming session. All right, guys, so stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to my sessions. I will be soon coming up with session 2 of urinary system. Till then, bye bye.